kids. I'm Christine Wiggins from Cullman Today. Tonight, I want to read you a story out of Favourite Bedtime Stories, and this one is called Bear Can't Sleep by Juliette Groom. It was late at night, and deep in Tall Tree Forest, everyone was asleep. Everyone, that is, except for Bear. His big comfy bed was cozy and warm. The glow from Mouse's nightlight twinkled softly on the ceiling of their cave. But Bear was not even a little bit sleepy. Over in his soft, comfy bed, Mouse was asleep and dreaming with a gentle and as Bear listened to Mouse snoring, he gave a big sigh. Maybe a sip of water will help, thought Bear, padding to the sink. But a drink didn't make him sleepy. Neither did counting sheep. And as Bear lay wide awake in his bed, all he could think about was Mouse, fast asleep across the room. How very annoying of Mouse to sleep so very well when I'm awake, Bear harumphed to himself. I'm sure that if Mouse couldn't sleep, I would stay up to talk to him. Bear tossed and turned in his bed. It didn't feel quite so comfy and cozy anymore. Bear whispered just in case Mouse was awake too. But Mouse didn't reply, so Bear whispered again a bit louder. Mouse, Mouse, I can't sleep. It's too hot in this cave. Could you open your window? Mouse woke up just a little bit, and blearily he opened his window. Is that better, Bear? He asked, falling back into bed. That's perfect. Thank you, Mouse, said Bear, much happier as a gentle breeze floated through the room. Marvelous. Night-night, Bear, said Mouse. With a small sigh, he fell back asleep. Bear couldn't believe it. Mouse was asleep again already. How was that possible when Bear was still awake on his own? Bear sighed. The breeze was cool and it was lovely, but he was not even a tiny bit sleepy, and it was very unfair. Mouse, he called, not even bothering to whisper this time. Mouse, wake up. I can't sleep. Your nightlight is too bright and it's keeping me awake. Huh? Said Mouse, half awake. Sorry, Bear. And he leaned over and turned off the nightlight. Click. Then Mouse settled back into his small, comfy bed, turned over once, and fell fast asleep. Added Bear. Mouse hadn't even woken up. Bear was sure of it. How did he do it? How dare he? Surely Mouse should realize that his friend needed company, alone in the dark, awake. The very dark. Without Mouse's nightlight, the room was black and there was no twinkling stars dancing over the ceiling to look at. Bear lay in the very dark, feeling very, very cross. What was Bear to do? That was it. Bear had had enough. Mouse, shouted Bear, stop snoring. You're keeping me awake and it's very selfish. At last, Mouse was properly awake. But Mouse was also properly cross. "I wasn't snoring," he snapped. "And if I'm so very selfish, then I'm going outside to sleep in the garden where I won't annoy anyone." And with that, Mouse picked up his blanket and stomped outside. Slam went the door, and the cave fell silent. Bear lay in his bed feeling rather alone. The cave was very, very dark and very, very quiet. Too quiet. And Bear didn't just feel alone, he felt sad and ever so mean. Why'd he been so horrible to his friend Mouse? Mouse hadn't done anything wrong. "Oh dear," sighed Bear. "Oh bother." What if Mouse was cold in the garden? What if he was scared of the dark out in the big outdoors all alone? Bear leapt out of his bed in a fluster. "Mouse!" he cried, rushing out into the garden with his blanket. "Mouse, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be horrible. It wasn't you keeping me awake. I don't want you to be alone out in the dark. I'll keep you company." Mouse turned to Bear and smiled his gentle smile. "Oh, Bear, that's okay. I know you didn't mean it. And it's rather fun camping in the garden, you know." And Mouse gave Bear a big goodnight hug, snuggled up in his cozy blanket, and fell fast asleep. Bear looked around the room. Bear looked round and peaceful around the garden and smiled. The bushes and trees were magical in the moonlight. Ever so quietly, Bear put his blanket next to the sleeping Mouse, then curled up on the soft grass. It was a beautiful night. The breeze drifted softly over them, and high above the stars twinkled brightly. The sound of crickets made a gentle lullaby, and best of all, the most comforting and peaceful, perfect sound to fall asleep to, Bear could hear the quiet of his best friend Mouse. "Night-night, Mouse," whispered Bear softly, and he turned over, gave a big sigh, and fell fast asleep.